What's up, y'all? Welcome to the second episode of the main topic. I'm Carnell Johnson.
I'm Julio.
I'm Alex Davis.
And today we're pretty much going to be talking about some streamers, the streamer world right now. So this past week, we're going to be talking about iShowSpeed and Kai Cenat. So pretty much Kai Cenat went back to, a few years ago, he announced that he was investing $5 million for a school in Nigeria. He was giving back to the kids in Nigeria, kind of so they could have educational resources. And then Speed recently did a tour in, the entire continent of Africa. And recently the president of Ghana said that the advertisement and just Speed's influence brought a lot of attention to the country of Ghana. There was like about 20 million Google searches, people interested in the country itself, maybe like traveling there and, and like being interested in the products from Ghana. So that kind of just shows that both of these streamers, who are the top streamers right now, are using their influence for good things rather than just random, unnecessary things, how maybe like majority of other streamers would do. And, I'll let Carnell and Alex, give their opinion on these two guys.
Yeah, I would say that like they're both catering to two different problems that comes with like the view of Africa. I like what Kai's doing, obviously starting a school for an underdeveloped area, using his money in a generous way, obviously giving them resources that they didn't have access to before. But even Speed, just going to Ghana and showing the world that Africa isn't just this underdeveloped country that everybody thinks it is. Everyone likes making the joke about, oh, like Africa doesn't have any water and things like that. And I think Speed showing one of their Ghana is probably one of the most developed countries in the continent in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So I think showing one of the most developed countries brings a lot of good attention to them. And like you said, people are searching it up, wanting to visit and things like that. So I think more tourism and things like that helps the continent as a whole. But yeah, I'm just glad to see the streamers doing something positive and having a positive impact.
Yeah, so it's kind of like bounce off of what you said, Carnell. Like it's nice to see YouTubers who are doing that, building schools in underdeveloped areas, versus some of these other YouTubers that just post like prank videos and which are funny, but they don't do anything for underdeveloped. Well, not underdeveloped, but neighborhoods in underdeveloped areas that are without schools. And it's a very good thing to see. I know Carnell was talking about how when people say Africa, people automatically associate it to not having water or food, or they live in huts. That's not true. Kind of like to piggyback off that, as someone who is Mexican, when I tell people from here, from the States, oh, I'm going to visit Mexico, they automatically assume that the part that I'm going to is the worst of the worst. Not true. There are parts in California that are trash, and there are parts of Mexico that are trash. Not every part of Mexico is garbage, no. There are some parts of Mexico that look better than parts of LA. Mexico isn't a poor country. It's doing very well off. But kind of, I'm getting off topic. I really like what they're doing, the two YouTubers building a school, and they're bringing a lot of tourism to that part of the country, Ghana, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most trending videos on YouTube right now. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I think you guys made really valid points, Carnell. I think what you said, that Speed, what he did, kind of just showing the people, like what you said, that a lot of people think, hey, oh, there isn't water in Africa, there isn't food, or things like that, which to an extent might be true, but then again, nobody really shows the positive areas of the different countries in Africa, kind of like what Alex touched on in Mexico. And I think someone has to show that. Even if there's social media, someone has to do it, and I think that's what Speed did. Kind of showing everyone that, hey, this country still has, you know, a lot of good things that people could visit, a lot of good things to offer to society. And that's kind of Speed's point. And then Kai Cenat's is just, you know, kind of giving back to a community that is, you know, is underdeveloped and doesn't have enough resources. So I think very, very good things that both of these streamers are doing right now.
And that concludes our segment episode of The Main Topic. Thank you for joining us this week, and we'll see you all next week.